Hello, my name is Raquel Felix Keys. I'm with Mr. Awadala, Bio 165. I'm going to be reviewing some of the bones here with Johnny here. I'm going to be reading off the sheet here. And the first bone that I'm going to be covering is the humerus, this one here, with the greater tuberculae, lesser tuberculae, the olecranon fossa, the medial epicondyle, the lateral epicondyle, and the trochleae here. Then we're going to proceed to the radius, ulna, with the ulna being the biggest and the radius being here. We have the radius head up here with the styloid process of the radius here, the olecranon process, which joins the olecranon fossa, which becomes the elbow, and then we have the styloid process of the ulna. Then we're going to go to the wrists and hands. The wrists and hands having the scaphoid, luneate. Then it proceeds to the triquetrum and the pisiform. Then it's the hamate, capitate, trapezoid, and trapezium. These are the carpals. This is the metacarpals, the phalanges, and that concludes the wrists and hands. Then we're going to go over to the pelvic girdle, where we have the top, which is the iliac crest, the sacroiliac joint. This is the ilium. This is the ischium, which proceeds with the pubis, the acetibulum, which is in here, the obturator forum, which is in here, with the ischial tuberosity, which is here, which you feel when you sit on your behind there. The next thing that we're going to review is the femur, and we have the femur right here with the femur head, the neck, this section here, head, neck, greater trochanter, lesser trochanter, medial condyle, lateral condyle, and that concludes that. Then we're going to go over to the patella, tibia, fibula. This is the patella, this one being the fibula, and this one being the tibia, with the anterior crest, with the medial malleus here, lateral malleus here, lateral malleus here. Then we're going to go down to the ankle and foot, this being the calcaneus, the talus, the phalanges, the tarsals, and the metatarsals here. Well, that concludes me reviewing the bones that Mr. Awadala wants us to review. Thank you for watching.